Hello everyone. Please open textbook page 15, poem 2, Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. About the poet. Robert Frost was an American poet and was honored with the Congressional Gold Medal for his poetic works. His poetry mostly stated a wide range of human experiences like the road not taken and stopping by woods on a snowy morning. So students, let us know the objectives of poetry. At the end of the poem, you would be able to read and analyze poetry. You would be able to appreciate the beauty or the rhyme or the style of the poem, identify the poetic devices, or analyze and interpret the imagery and paradox in the poem. Okay, students, now let's come into the poem. Students, have you ever heard the word apocalypse? I think many of you are familiar with the word, especially boys, as it might associate with the games they play or movies they watch. Yeah, apocalypse means final destruction of the world. I don't know how many of you remember, few years ago there was a prediction about the fate of the world, like the world is most likely to be destroyed and with either by fire or by ice. So in today's poem Fire and Ice, let's see how a poet Robert Frost associates two contrasting elements, fire and ice, in the destruction of the world. Now let's go into the poem. Before that, here Frost is the speaker in the poem, and the way he symbolizes fire with human emotions to desire, greed, anger, and ice he symbolizes with hatred, intolerance, and coldness. Really wonderfully symbolized. So let's come to the first stanza of the poem, and I'm going to explain to you line wise. Children, please listen to me very carefully. Please keep the textbook before you. Some say the world may end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Now let's come to the first two lines. Some say the world may end in fire, some say in ice. Now there is a controversy that the world will come to an end in two ways. One is because of fire, and some say because of ice. Now the poet is comparing this fire and ice to two different emotions. Like he is equating fire to desire. Children, now what is desire? It's a strong feeling like to own something. It is like greed. You want something more and more and you're not satisfied. It goes on like fire, how fire spreads, like that. It goes on. And in the second line, and ice is equated to hatred. So he says that these two elements, fire and ice, can bring about the end of the world. I hope you understood. Let's come to the third line. From what I have tasted of desire. So here the poet feels that desire, it goes on, like it is such a dangerous thing, like that's why it is he's comparing it with fire, like it engulfs the person, and similarly it engulfs the whole world too. Now let's come to the last line of the first stanza. I hold with those who favor fire. The poet says that he favors the people who believe that the world is going to end because of fire. And what is he symbolizing fire to? Desire. So he says that he goes along, or he favors the people who believe that the world is going to end because of fire or desire. Children, hope you understood the explanation of the first stanza. Let's go to the second stanza. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. Now let's come to the first line of the second stanza. But if it had to perish twice. So what he feels, actually first let me tell you the meaning of perish. Perish means to be destroyed. Now, why he is using the word twice? He feels that if he's asking you to imagine that if the world is going to end in fire or if it is going to end in ice. I already told you, no, fire is related to desire and ice is related to hatred. Now, he says that if the world is going to be destroyed, means it might be destroyed by these two things, that is fire and ice and desire and hatred. I think I know enough of hate. So see how again he's saying I know enough of hatred. Here we already know that he's comparing ice to hatred. He says that there is hatred amongst people such that like nobody is bothered about each other. Each one has become so insensitive that they do not want to think about others. They always think of themselves. And he feels that such an emotion always leads to destruction and it is also great. So he's saying that the earth might become frozen because of these inactivities of these human beings. And, and he feels that they are not bothered about others. When they are not bothered about others, what happens? Everybody is isolated in their own manner, isn't it? And people are insensitive, like they show rigidity, they show the coldness like the ice. And he feels that when there are no human feelings or emotions, naturally the world is going to end and it might lead to destruction. Ice is also great and would suffice, means even ice also, like they both go hand in hand, fire and ice are going in hand in hand, and these emotions, desire and hatred are also going hand in hand, leading to the destruction of the world. Children, I hope you understood. So just let me sum up with the poem. He says that the poet, no, is really very artistically he has written. He promotes the philosophy that we let our emotions rule us. We human beings, no, are allowing the emotions to rule us. And if we don't have control over them, they will surely bring all of us, like the whole human race, to the verge of destruction or chaos. Students, that's all for today's class. Tomorrow, I will be discussing in detail the literary devices of the poem, and please check the slide for the homework which I have given. For any doubts, definitely you can approach me. Thank you for today. See you in the next class.